We're recording. Okay, I always start these by asking the client how many times you've seen, how many of my typing session videos have you seen before?
One.
Great. Okay. Then let me start with introverted. Let me also just sort of ask, how deeply are you into cognitive functions?
I would say a medium level,
Okay. All right, cool.
I'm not that advanced, but I do know a bit
Okay.
of it.
So I'm going to ask questions first that test to see tell me something about your introverted sensing. So can you talk to me a little bit about your sleep schedule? How many hours of sleep do you think you need to get in a night?
7, 8 hours.
And do you consistently get that?
Well, not right now because I'm having my cat is sick and he's probably, not going to be with me for a long time right now. But normally I do get that unless I'm in too much stress.
Okay, so stress makes it difficult for you to sleep?
Yes, definitely.
All right. Do you let yourself get too hungry during the day and then go, "Oh, I'm starving to death," and eat, or are you pretty good about staying on top of that?
Can you be more specific?
Well, for example, I haven't eaten anything yet this morning. At some point around lunchtime, I'll realize that I'm so hungry that I feel nauseous, and then I'll make some food.
I do that too.
Okay,
I
all
know I
right.
shouldn't,
Yeah,
but yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
okay. Okay, I'm going to recount my last 30 minutes of my morning in a series of very small, insignificant details. And then I wonder if you could do the same for your last 30 minutes, okay? So about 8:30, I woke up when I heard my Google alert on my phone tell me that I had something in half an hour. And I was like, "Do I have something in half an hour?" And then I got up, I checked my calendar, I saw that I did have something in half an hour. So I made a pot of coffee, I took my Adderalls, I went pee, I smoked a couple of long rips, and then I read this article about this Japanese guy winning the Masters. Now,
Okay.
can you do the same?
Ooh, not with so much detail for sure. I do know that I consciously were taking notes of my morning because my cat is sick, and just because of it, I have my calendar and noting. Okay, he peed, he took his medicine, blah blah. This time, just for it. But if I was to tell you, I woke up. Wait, I don't remember. Wait. I woke up. I was looking at him, making sure he's okay.
Wait, so are you saying your cat or your dad?
Cat, cat.
Cat, okay. At
Yes.
first I thought you were saying your dad. Okay, your cat. Right. Well, I mean,
Yeah, my
cats
cat.
are.
Yeah.
Look, I love my cat so much. When your cat or your animal gets sick or has problems, it's really painful. I
It's really
totally
painful for me.
totally
Yeah.
empathize with that.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Because not many people understand. More people understand that with time. We are progressing, but not too many people. So, but I don't mind. It's like my job. I say, I have to change my timetable because my cat is sick and I need to be there for him.
Sure.
Because also, it's not something small, it's actually big, so I have to be careful.
Right. Okay. So, can you tell me about this past Christmas? How much do you remember about this past Christmas? Where you went, what you did, what you got for presents, or whatever.
I got for present a box with a picture on it from my sister and jewelry from my mother.
Do you remember the experience of sitting around Christmas Day and opening presents, or you just remember what you got?
I don't really remember being I don't remember the specific moment of being there. I do remember the time when I took a picture of my cat because he's so important to me. I remember it, and 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 I would say that's much of it.
Okay. Can you tell me about which you liked better, seventh or eighth grade, and why?
Oh, can you be tell me about the ages because I'm not
Okay.
American, never been.
Seventh grade is 13. Eighth grade is 14.
Wow, I'm not sure if I remember that times, but I think 13. You say? Wow, 13. How? What year was that? I'm 23, so
10 years ago.
10 years ago, so 2011. Oh, um, I was in secondary school in the second year. Do do I need to be
Okay,
specific?
what did you have for breakfast yesterday? Did you have breakfast yesterday?
I think no. I don't remember. I don't think I had breakfast. No.
Did you have lunch yesterday?
Yes.
Do you know what you had
Yes.
for lunch?
Yes. Yes. I had rice and chicken.
Okay. Can you tell me a story like this from a time you recently went somewhere with somebody? A story of an insignificant detail like this. The other day, I went to the restaurant with Bob, and he dropped his fork on the floor, and he had to ask the waitress for a new fork.
Okay. The other day, um, I went to the bank where I work, and wow, man, this is so hard. I'm trying to think.
Okay, well, let me ask you this question. What do you think I'm concluding from your answers here?
I think you're concluded that I'm bad at SE.
SI.
SI, sorry.
Yeah, I am
SI.
concluding that you're bad at SI. Okay, so
Wow.
put it this way. I think we can determinedly conclude that you're not SI on the front stack. So
Okay.
you've got SI on the back stack, which eliminates all of your NTPs, all of your SFJs, and all of your NFPs and all of your STJs. You're not any of those types. So you're
Okay.
not an NTP, you're not an SFJ, you're not an NFP, and you're not an STJ.
Okay.
So we're down to 8 possible types. I think I have a pretty clear guess about what you are already, but let me proceed to the next sort of skills area. Next, I'm going to test
Okay.
extroverted intuition. Extroverted intuition
Okay.
is the ability to come up with random stuff on the fly, basically. So one way that I tested is I ask, how many different uses can you think of for a piece of 2x4 lumber? It's a board like this, a piece of wood that's like this, 2x4.
We can use it as a table. We can use it like I don't know why I'm thinking a chair, to be honest. We can use it as a decoration for a theater show.
Okay.
Uh, door.
Okay, I've got a new invention I made, but I'm terrible at coming up with names for my inventions. And the marketing
Right.
department, they need some snappy names for it to help sell it. So can you help me come up with some names for my new invention? It's a combination invention, okay? It's a combination between a trumpet you can play and attached to the trumpet it has a GoPro like camera that
Right.
makes it possible for you to film. It's like if you're riding your bicycle and playing the trumpet at the same time, you can film. So what should we call this new invention? A trumpet with a GoPro attached to it.
Wow, man. The first thing I thought was the trumpet cam.
Yeah, that's a straightforward enough and probably effective name. Can you come up with some other ones? Some with some razzle dazzle.
Trumpy, funny, campy. I don't know. To be honest, I'm trying
Okay.
to think, but it's kind of. I'm not sure.
Okay. How many reasons can you imagine for a person to say that they want to join the army? What are some of the reasons they might have for wanting to join the army?
Well, I know they well, for my experience, they would like to join the army because of payment, because of honor, because of they don't know what else to do. That would be.
Okay. Let's say I tell you, hey, I'm going to write a book, and I've got a main character. Her name's Judy. She's 35. She's a registered nurse. And another main character whose name is Darren, and he's the head surgeon at the hospital. And I need an idea to get things rolling in my story. What's a good way to get started with a bang?
With a bang.
With a bang.
Okay.
With a bang.
So they could be having an affair or something.
I don't mean literally a bang. I mean starting with like some pop. Like what's an event that's going to make the story grab the reader right away?
Wow. Maybe something like Judy wanted to become a head surgeon, but this guy, they knew each other before, and somehow he made something that stopped her from entering the head surgeon career, and she ended up being a nurse.
I see.
So there's some drama there.
Right. Because he doesn't believe women should be doctors. He's old-fashioned like that.
Okay.
And then what should happen? But his own mother comes into the hospital room, in the emergency room, on a stretcher, and only the nurse knows how to cure her. Irony.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to do this word thing where I'll demonstrate it, okay? I'm going to give you two words that are far apart, and I want you to find a path between them, okay? So,
Okay.
for example, one word would be lemon, and the other word would be manatee. A manatee is a kind of sea animal, you know? Okay, so I'd say, okay, well, lemons grow on citrus trees, which grow in Florida and California. Florida and California are both near the ocean. The ocean stretches up the coast from California up to Alaska, and in the waters of Alaska, there live manatees.
Wow, man.
Okay.
Is it normal that I got kind of distracted? Please tell me again.
Sure. You're just trying to make a connection that connects two
Yeah.
things that are unconnected. So if the
Yeah,
words
so
are
the manatee
lemon and manatee, I'd say,
Yeah.
well, lemons grow on citrus trees.
Yeah.
Citrus trees grow in California. California is
Yeah.
on the Pacific coast. The ocean
Right.
goes up the Pacific coast to Alaska, and the ocean in Alaska
Right.
is where manatees live.
Okay.
All right, so can you do that now with the United Nations and and peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Wow. Wait.
What do you think she is? You there? Hello. darkness, my old friend. You're just a dark square there again. And I'm using this box as an ashtray. I can ash inside of it each day. And when I'm done, I put it in here and close the box. That way it stops making smoke around me. Not me, is it? No, it doesn't appear to be me. Try leaving and coming back again, if you can hear me. I'm singing the song of ashtrays. Boom, 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 boom. Pew, 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 pew. And then the sim, pim, 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 pew, pew, pew. Pink, pew, 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 pew. And this tray, it is getting full of ash, like your ass. It's the sound of ashtray. See? Now look, where did the smoke go? It was on fire. Are you worried? Is it going to start a fire in there? I'm not worried.
Okay.
Hi. So we were, I believe, on United Nations and peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
So, wow, that's very difficult. I just thought about, I don't know, United Nations discovering there's something wrong about the ingredients of peanut butter and they ban it or something.
Okay. Next, I'd like to try some introverted. Well, let me try the troll question. Okay, this is a story question in which I'm gonna. It's like a choose your own adventure kind of thing where you're the character in the story and I'm the narrator. You can talk to the narrator or you can talk to other characters in the story, and I'll play the role of those other characters. Okay, so you're the mayor of a town in the Middle Ages. And so you only have Middle Ages technology, horses, lances, bows and arrows, stuff like that.
Okay.
Your town is split in two by a river. On one half of the town are all your farms and your silos of food and stuff. On the other half of the river is your townspeople and your merchants and stuff like that, okay? Now, there's a storm and it washes the bridge out over your river. So now there's no bridge. And the river troll comes and takes up residence in your river. This river troll has a magical power. He can steal instantly 10% of any food that crosses the river in a boat. So if you cross the river in a boat with one slice of bread, he'll take 10% of that slice of bread. If you cross the river in a boat with one whole dead cow, he'll take 10% of that dead cow. And you can't stop him from doing this. He calls it the troll tax. Now, the problem is this. It's just started to be winter, and you have just enough food saved up for winter to feed everybody. If the troll takes 10% of it, some of your people will starve to death. And everybody's saying, we don't want to starve to death. They say, Mayor Jennyfer, can you please help us solve this problem?
Wow. Oh my God. There was I believe I should have like a paper to read what you just said to memorize everything you said. But for what I got, I don't think there's too much to do. Like there will be issues to make it work. So,
Well,
it's going to be like that.
Well, the thing is this. You've got a troll who's stealing some of your food. Because since you can't go across the bridge, you take your cross in boats. But you can't afford to lose that food. So some of your townspeople are saying we should try to kill the troll. and they want to know what you think about it.
Unless they have a good plan on their minds in order to replace that troll with something else that can cross the bridge.
The troll does, you don't need the troll. The troll is just a harm, okay? You're taking your food across. You're taking the food across the river in boats since your bridge is washed out.
Okay.
But the river troll can't steal food that's being carried across on a bridge, but he can steal food that's being carried across on a boat. And so you're losing 10% of every load of food you take across the river. And if you keep doing that all winter, you won't have enough food to feed your people. So your people want you to get rid of the troll somehow or solve this problem somehow.
Right, so we don't need the troll.
You don't need the troll. You don't want the troll.
And we can use boats.
Yeah, you do use boats currently to get across the river to bring your food across to the people.
So, and the only thing is that the troll eats the 10% of the food every time we use the boat to cross the river.
With food in it, yes.
Okay, so we have to kill the troll.
Okay, but the problem is the troll stands in the middle of the river. It's pretty wide. Right. He's 12 feet tall. He's got bumpy kind of armory skin. And your general says, I don't think it's a good idea for us to try to float down the river with lances and stab him because he's a lot more efficient in the water than we are. He'll probably just tip over our boats.
Okay, so I'm thinking ways, but I'm thinking these ways are maybe too advanced for that time that I am being put on. Okay. So...
Well, what are they?
Well, I was thinking, let's get some deal with another countries in order to be, more efficient, more intelligent, in order to make this troll, get out or something. And in exchange, we can, make some business deals or something.
Okay.
With them.
All right. So you certainly can contact the next city that's down the river, and you send some riders. You send some riders down to go meet with them, and they bring back some representatives, and the representatives tell you, well, right now this river troll is a problem for your village, but let's say we successfully drive it away. It might come down to our village. We don't have a bridge either. So we'd have to be sure we were able to kill it. Do you have a good plan on how to kill it?
Right. So what I would do then is study this troll. Like, what can we do in order to kill it, basically? So if he's in the water, what we can do? Like, possibly there's a poison we can do, or maybe there is a gun we can create in order to make it happen.
Okay. That's okay. Interesting. All right. So what I just interpret from your answers there to that story is your first approach to solving the problem is an interface approach. Let's involve is an interface approach.
Oh, okay.
Which is to say, let's involve some other people who might be able to help us solve this problem. Right?
Yeah, because I'm not expert at trolls.
Right. And then your second approach is to demonstrate extroverted intuition, which is to say that you come up with some possible general ideas that might direct other people to do further ideation, really,
Okay.
So far everything's consistent with one specific type, but let me ask some TI questions next. TI questions are deductive reasoning questions, okay? So it's like, can you tell me who your mother's husband is in relation to you?
Grandmother, husband, my grandfather, or the husband?
Yeah, grandfather, right, okay. How about this? If some squirrels like basketball and
Yeah.
and all things that like basketball enjoy ice skating, is it necessarily the case that some squirrels enjoy ice skating?
No, I don't see why.
Okay. If only people from Egypt build pyramids, and I have built a pyramid, am I from Egypt?
No.
Okay. If
Or it could be yes. I don't know.
it's yes, it's yes. Okay.
Okay. Oh my god.
If
Okay.
I have either a cat or a dog, and I don't have
Yeah.
a dog, what can you
Yeah.
conclude?
You have a cat, right?
Yeah. Okay. If Joe and Bob both go to the store,
Yeah.
then Mary will be home alone, and
Right.
she will call Charlie up to come over and get his Mac on.
Uh-huh.
But if either Bob or Joe stays home, then Charlie's out of luck. Now, it turns out Bob learns right now he's under house arrest. What can we conclude?
That this guy won't come, right?
Right.
This
Right.
Charlie guy.
Yeah, Charlie won't come. Okay, cool. So, what we just established there with your TI is that it's not seventh slot. So, the two things the TI test can usually tell is if you're seventh slot or if you're first or second slot. So you're
Right.
neither first or second slot nor seventh slot. So what this eliminates is INTP, ISTP, ENTP, ESTP. The ISTP and ESTP are newly eliminated. We had already eliminated the NTPs, but
Right.
we've also eliminated ESFP and ENFP. Well, we'd already eliminated ENFP. So you're not ESFP, you're not ISTP, and you're not
Right.
ESTP. So now that leaves us with 11 types eliminated, which means there are 5 types left that you could possibly be. And those 5 types are INFJ, ENFJ, INTJ, ENTJ, and ISFP. Now, it seems very obvious to me that you're extroverted feeling and not introverted feeling, but I will do a couple of tests of this to check. So, I'm going to say 2 sentences, and I'm going to ask you which sentence are you more likely to say. Okay? The first sentence is, I'm sure it's going to be fine. I'm not worried about how I'm going to feel at this party. I'm a team player. I'm worried about Josie. She's fussy, and Bob, he's fussy. Or, I'm not worried about Josie and Bob. I'm worried about whether I'm going to like this thing. My feelings are most important. Which sentence is more likely to say?
The second one.
Okay. If you had to drown either a kitten or a puppy, which would you drown?
Sorry. If I was to drown a kinder?
If you had to drown either
Yeah.
a kitten or a puppy, which would you drown?
That's so sad, man. No. Oh my god. Why would you ask me that? It's so hard. I have a cat and a dog. Like, no.
Okay.
Do I have to answer?
Well,
No.
okay, you don't, but if you don't choose one, then 100 kittens and 100 puppies will be thrown in the incinerator.
Oh my god. Osh, I would have to drown the one that I see is almost dead or something.
They're both perfectly fine.
No, I feel it so
And
close that.
they're both absolutely adorable as well.
Oh my god. No. No. That I
Okay.
have to answer really.
You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Okay, so I mean, you did it. You did. The point is, you did answer. Your answer is that's your answer, right? And
Okay.
that's what I'm looking for in general, is how people respond to that, not what the actual answer is. Whether it's a kitten, it probably doesn't matter. Here's what an
Right.
FI polar person, FI seventh like me, might answer. This is the most FI polar answer I ever heard. A puppy, because it would struggle less.
Wow. Really? Wow. I didn't know that, but I don't want to know.
But I mean, see, the thing is this. If you have introverted thinking as a tool function, oh shit, let me close the door. The gardeners are here. God, I hate the gardeners. It's like,
That sounds loud.
yeah, they use. It's like, okay, why leaf blowers? Rakes aren't that much slower, you know. And leaf blowers are so loud. They're so loud. Anyway, okay. So when you are, which job would you rather? Which job would you rather have? A job where you are required to smooth things over with some angry clients, or a job where you are required to fix some broken latches on some gates?
Latches.
Yeah, latches on a gate. Like this, it goes into here, like, so the gate stays closed, and then you lift it up and it opens.
So I don't think I'm very good with the physical. It's not that I like clients, to be honest. I don't really like to be with people that much, but because I'm not good at physical stuff, then I would do the angry clients, man.
Okay. Do you think you'd be successful at dealing with the angry clients?
Well, if I can, I wouldn't be all the time there. I would try to fix the problem. So instead of being there as an associate of customer service, I would go up in order to change things, man. Because if they're angry, there has to be a reason, right?
Okay, well, here,
Find out and change it.
let's play it out. I'm angry. I'm angry at you because you're my bank. Okay.
Right.
Now listen. Hey, I got a problem here. I went to get some money out of the bank, and my card doesn't work anymore because the magnetic strip on the back is worn off. And
Right.
my complaint is, you guys know this happens. You guys know that people's magnetic strips wear off, and yet you haven't fixed the problem yet. What the hell is wrong with you?
And so I would answer. I can ask for another one to you.
I don't want a new card. I want a solution to this problem globally.
Well, I can give a solution right now.
I want you to eliminate the use of magnetic strips on the back of cards, or make them much more durable. I want you to do that right now.
The reality is I can't. I can give you a paper where you can do
You get a new card. Oh, you do a complaint, where I can write a complaint to corporate or whatever?
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can complain if you want.
Okay.
But don't bother me too much. Don't
Okay.
bother me too much. I don't care.
Okay, so what what kind of stuff do you like to do at work?
What kind of?
What kind of stuff at work do you like to do? What are the parts of your job that you like a lot?
Well, I don't. It's not that I like my job. I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm on the side doing stuff that I like. But if I was to tell you something that I like about my work, it's when I get stuff done. Like, when I'm being efficient.
When you get stuff
You know,
done.
when I
Okay.
know what I'm doing and blah 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 blah.
So completing a task is very satisfying for you.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
example, when I'm doing checks and or stuff like that, I don't need to be screaming with the customer, and I can just be blah 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 blah.
Okay.
You know.
How do you, if you were to construct your ideal job, what would it be?
I'm in the research of that because I don't know yet, but I do know I don't like monotony. I don't like to be like settled. I love the idea of improving and learning stuff, and also, you know, sharing that kind of stuff with people, but without the direct connection with them, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, for example, I like to be a speaker and have a crowd, but I'm not good at the small talk, you know? That's hard for me.
Okay.
So,
What piece of advice? You have the microphone for 30 seconds, and it's taking over every channel in the world and translating it into every language automatically. And
oh,
and it's you know, all of a sudden everybody, whatever they're watching or something, turns to Jennifer's advice to the world. What is it? You have what one piece of advice do you give that you think universally applies to everybody and is good advice?
I would say to know themselves, because that's the first thing. It's going to make yourself have your place in the world and therefore have a better life, you know?
Okay.
And if, so yeah, be disciplined and love yourself.
Okay.
Accept yourself.
So, what do you think about having goals? Is that important?
Yes, I do think, yeah. Well, I have goals, and I think that's the thing that made me go through life. Otherwise, I wouldn't maybe know how to proceed and stuff.
Do you feel like you've got a good understanding of how other people perceive you? Like, do other people find you intimidating, warm, competent, some combination of the three?
Yeah. Yeah, they do find me. They do find me these things you said, and I know because they told me. Yeah.
Warm and intimidating.
Sorry?
So people do find you intimidating, is what you're saying.
Yeah, some of them, yes. Some of them find me warm. Some of them find me intimidating. Yeah, depending.
Would you agree with the following assessment that most people would be well served to let go of their past? That for a lot of people, they're burdened by clinging to things that happened before that just drag them down.
Wow, can you repeat that?
Yes.
Because the sound.
So the idea is that people who are having problems in life, that it's generally because they need to let go of something in their past that's holding them back. Would you agree with that? Do you agree with that or not?
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Okay. What do you?
I don't know if I got it right, but you said like people, in order to grow, in order to improve, they have to let go some of the past, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I do agree with that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So if you are, can you talk to me about the kind of media you like to watch or listen to and stuff?
So I love business stuff. I love psychology stuff. I love art, food. Well, food. I love food when I eat, but to listen, I love business, self-growth, psychology, some gossip.
Okay. do you have a plan going from now for the next couple of years, like a 2-year plan or a 5-year plan or something?
I don't have it like that, but I do have like where I want to be and what I have to do right now to make it, more or less.
Okay. How do you feel about it when others present to you when other people tell you how to do things?
If I'm okay with that?
Yeah, are you okay with that?
Not really, but if I am interested and I see that I have to learn because it's going to benefit whatever I am trying to learn, then I do
Are you more
pay attention.
are you more comfortable being told what to do or how to do it?
I'm more comfortable being told. Oh, that's a good question, actually. How to do it or what to do? I think I'm more comfortable with them telling me what to do, and then I decide how to do it.
Okay. A similar question, if you were given a task by a boss and you have two choices of tasks. One, you're told very precisely what the outcome is supposed to be and why, and you're left
Right.
to determine how to get there. Or two, you're told very precisely each step that you're supposed to take, but given no information about what you're ultimately going to attain. Which would you prefer?
The first one.
Okay. So I've got you narrowed down to two types right now. You're either an ENFJ or an ENTJ. And I'm not. I was quite confident you were an ENFJ for a stretched time there. Now I'm a little bit torn between ENFJ and ENTJ. So can I ask?
Why is that?
Well, first of all, can I ask you now what you thought you had about what you might be coming in? Or like, did you have a type in mind that you were coming in?
To be honest, no, I didn't want to have in mind anything because, well, the only video I saw about with you is the Amy one.
Uh
You
huh.
remember?
Uh huh. Yeah, sure.
And I talked with her and I saw that instead of being an INTJ, she's an ESFP.
Right.
So I was like, wait, you know,
Okay.
let me see
You're
if I am
you're
something like
not
that.
you're not an ESFP. Your TI is not polar. Your TI is also not first or second, and probably not fifth, which means you're more likely an ENFJ than you are an ENTJ. Now, there's this additional thing, which
You
is
said ENFJ or I?
E
Oh, really? Okay, wait.
ENFJ, and the reason I think you're an ENFJ most likely is
Mm-hmm.
you're SI polar. So really that limited you down to two possible types right away. You're pretty clearly SI polar. SI polar people have a lot of trouble recounting details. They don't typically understand things in examples, but rather in what those examples would mean. So, for example, Rachel, who's an INFJ, my girlfriend, she has a tendency to sometimes find universal things that might cause problems between our two types, either astrologically or with typology or whatever, and say, is this a problem between us? Now, of course, what she could do is look to her actual experience, right? And say, it's not because you know, but she's worried that the frame is going to be determinant rather than the experience. So when you're SI polar, now she's not, Rachel's SI 8. When you're SI polar, you maximally don't pay attention to those minor details. And in fact, probably what would be absolutely torturous for you is to listen to, say, an ESTJ talk to you. Because an ESTJ talking to you will talk to you like this. And I will watch as your eyes glaze over. So, anyway, this morning after I finished breakfast, I went down to the Firestone because I needed to get the oil changed in the car. And then after I got the oil changed, we had to go back by the grocery store there because you know how I mentioned we had forgotten to put.
Really annoying.
Right? That's how you torture an ENXJ. Either ENTJ or ENFJ finds that torturous to listen to. Okay?
Well, but I always thought, I mean, I think I feel about myself being an introvert
Okay, why?
because I don't like small talk. I don't like talking to people. I don't know if I'm wrong or I'm right
I
about this. Yeah,
I think that
but
makes you more likely an ENTJ. So the thing is, extroverted thinking is the least extroverted colloquially. You know, the colloquial definition of extroverted, which is to say the way people normally use it, is is all about your engagement with other people. But extroversion is not actually about your engagement with other people. Extroversion tells you if you're an extrovert, it means you have an extroverted function first. Extroverted thinking as a function first doesn't like dealing with people really because an extrovert thinker has things they're getting accomplished, things they're getting done, whatever, and people coming in with their wishy-washiness interferes with the cleanliness of their executing those ordinalities. So, based on, and also, here's the thing, when I tested your FIFE, you tested actually FI, despite my expectations you were going to test FE on both the questions or a few of the questions that link to that. So the question about the puppy and the kitten, your answer is an FI answer. You don't want to answer it, okay? The question about whose feelings matter more, I'm a team player or I'm not, or fuck the team, my feelings matter most, you answered an FI answer, okay? And yet you also showed me an absolute value probably of TE first when you say like you'd rather avoid dealing with the angry people, you've got tasks you need to accomplish or whatever. Also the satisfaction of completion of tasks, that's very much third slot SE, which is common to both ENTJ and ENFJ. But and your TI results could go either, they could be fourth or fifth. I've always said trying to distinguish between fourth and fifth is very difficult. So it's not a good way to type people. Your TI, it's not great, but it's you get the concept of it easily enough, and you got the ones that were more intuitively, naturally correct. So okay. So I'm going to say you're an ENTJ. Although you look like an ENFJ. You could be an ENFJ. You could be a sassy, saucy ENFJ who's not particularly soft. Like, if you say people perceive you as warm and also intimidating. ENTJs are perceived generally as intimidating. ENFJs are perceived generally as warm. Now, because you're a woman and an ENFJ, you sort of have to cultivate more warmth in the world in general. Society seems to expect that than a male would. So that might explain your warmth. You seem FE to me, but you test FI, and you seem, and you also seem to test TE over FE in terms of valuing them. It's hard to test TE directly. The way I would test TE directly would be something like, can you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich into 8 steps exactly? Can you try that one?
Can you repeat the question?
Can you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in exactly 8 steps? Make instructions for me to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in exactly 8 steps.
Oh, to be honest, I don't eat that one.
Okay, well, something you do know how to make, yeah.
Okay, so for example, a Nutella sandwich.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
So you take the bread, you take the knife, Put the Nutella. Like I don't know how to say in English.
Spread.
Yeah, spread it on the bread. Put the bread. Eat it.
How many steps was that?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, okay. You said 8 step. Oh, okay.
Okay, so we'll try another one of these. Another TE one. Can you please explain to me how to recover my password if I lose it in my email?
So there's a link there where you put where it says forget my password. You put your email. You receive the code. You get the code. Follow the instructions. Reset your password, and that's it.
Okay. Can you describe to me your ideal significant other?
Ideal significant other must be flexible, understanding, wanting to improve.
Okay, what do you want? What do you want more for them to provide to you? Their authentic feelings, love, and preferences, or would you rather they provide to you their good, clear, logical thinking, which is very strong?
To be honest, I wouldn't really like that clear logical thinking because I usually don't trust depending on what you're talking about. Because if it's something that I know a lot about, I won't rely on your sources, maybe, you know. So of course the feelings should be authentic for sure. Otherwise, no.
Okay. So let's say the person's feelings are authentic, but they aren't very active. In other words, they don't spend very much time doing mushy stuff with you, saying like, "Oh, I love you so much," and all that kind of stuff, right? They do authentically have feelings, but they don't spend a lot of time expressing it. Is that a problem for you?
No.
What do you think about public displays of affection?
So I'm not really good at the physical, so I don't like to. I'm not, kissing, touching, no. So
Okay.
I don't do that in public, not because I'm ashamed, but because I really just don't
Okay.
do that.
What do you value more? A harmonious team or an efficient team?
An efficient team.
Okay. I think you're an ENTJ. You're an ENTJ. I type you as an ENTJ.
I was typed as I was going to ask you because I was talking about this with Amy. She said I was a lot of an FI user.
ENTJ is an FI user. She said you were not. She said you were not one.
No, she said you are a strong FI user.
Okay, well, yeah, ENTJ is an FI user, but I would not call you a strong FI user. It sounds to me as though FI is something that's much more prevalent in your thoughts about others than it is in your thoughts about yourself. Like, how much clarity do you have on what's important and precious to you in life and what's not? Do you find yourself getting lost in the execution of plans at the expense of remembering what's really important to you, or vice versa? Getting lost in what's really important to you at the expense of plans.
I didn't hear you the last part.
So, Option one is you get lost in what's important and precious to you, and it's at the expense of executing your plans. Or you get lost in executing your plans at the expense of what's precious and important to you.
I think I get lost with feelings.
Okay, explain what you mean by that.
I sometimes, so it depends, right? For example, my objective is this one, right? So there's stuff I have to be disciplined about, and stuff I have to kind of sacrifice. Or sometimes I feel myself like, what do? I don't want to do this, or maybe I don't believe in this. What should I do? So with the time, I am seeing that I am hearing that feelings and say, I want to be coherent. Coherent is the word? With my beliefs and my actions. I don't want to do anything or everything, just to get there. I want to be, so I am making my objective more aligned with my values, because that's becoming something important to me.
Okay.
Before it wasn't, but right now I am doing that.
Okay. Well, I mean, that just sounds like general growth. It's always, a person always feels like they're growing and becoming a more complete version of themselves when they incorporate more of their fourth slot function, which is Fi for you. The thing is, here's why you're definitely an ENTJ, because you have SI polar, so you couldn't be an ISFP, for example, which would be the same functions in a different order. Like ISFP is basically the inverse of ENTJ. So I was just sort of checking to see, well, maybe you're an ISFP, but of course you're SI polar, so you're not an ISFP. And you seem very clearly TE, DOM, and SE third, which is consistent with your absolute value of executing tasks and efficiency over harmony and stuff. Harmony would be an absolute value of somebody who was an FI DOM, for example, probably because it would be in the fifth slot. So I'm about 95% sure, 98% sure you're an ENTJ, with the remaining 2% being ENFJ. You could be a particularly hard-ass ENFJ, I guess. I don't think so.
What's the difference between an ENFJ and an ENTJ?
The difference is an ENFJ has FE first and TI fourth, and ENTJ has TE first and FI fourth, and then they have their 8 5s reversed accordingly. So
right.
The thing about ENFJs and ENTJs is they're both good at both interface functions. The two interface functions are extroverted thinking and extroverted feeling. So when you say that you are both perceived as warm and intimidating, the TE makes you be perceived as intimidating. The FE 8th slot makes you perceived as warm. But you only activate your FE as is necessary as your TE demands upon it. So when I offer you situations that would naturally be in the wheelhouse of FE, you go, I don't want to deal with those customers. So that's very much
I do it because I have to,
And when you do it, I'm sure you do it well, because your 8th slot function is what you'd call your unappreciated autopilot. Your FE is very good when you need it to be, in accordance with your thoughts about effectiveness and efficiency.
Sometimes I worry about my FE, because it's like a customer came and she said, I lost my wife. So we have to look for how to take the money from her account and stuff like that. The first thing I came up with to my mind was, okay, this person wants to do this, but I didn't realize I had to first say, I'm sorry for your loss. I came to realize that when my colleague came and said, I'm sorry for your loss, we are going to help you, blah blah blah. And I was like, how did I not know that this basic I had to do,
Because it wasn't
to me a lot.
It's because in that circumstance, it's actually not necessary for you to do the thing that needs to be done. Right? It's it's an extra thing. And probably the reason you feel somewhat like you messed up is not really an FE reason, although that would be FE saying those things. But it's probably an FI reason. Like, oh, you failed to remember to put yourself in this guy's shoes. He's probably mourning and really sad right now.
Right. No, I feel incompetent, to be honest.
Okay,
Like,
so it really is all just a TE thing. Okay, cool. So
I was
you're an
like, oh my
ENTJ.
God.
You're definitely an ENTJ. I have no problem having used that. I don't think there's much of anything to suggest you're anything but. The SI polar is pretty hardcore. It's like that's what SI polar looks like.
Wow, really?
Yeah, you
Well, I
can't.
was going to ask you just out of curiosity. I've been always typed INTJ. So I would like to know from your side, what is the difference between them?
Well, the difference between them is, first of all, INTJs have much stronger SI, so they can give me more details about the past. Second of all, an INTJ is probably not going to have that same experience with that client because that sounds like fourth slot FI, not third slot FI. Third slot FI is selfish, but much more attentive to FI matters. So what really happened there is you didn't put yourself in the other person's shoes. So it's like when you said to me that when I thought you had said your dad was sick and wasn't going to be with us for very long, that's a spot where I should have said, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that," but I didn't say that because I didn't really care. And then when you said your cat was sick, well, then I felt it. I was like, "Oh shit, your cat's sick? I'm so sorry to hear that," because I know how it is with animals. With animals, you know. And so in that instance, it's like my FI kicked in, and that caused me to do the FE thing because I put myself in your shoes and imagined my cat being sick, and I thought, oh, that's terrible. You know, that'd be terrible if my cat were sick. So, in other words, the F side of things, they're linked like that. When I remember with my FI that you're a person too, not just this client that I'm talking to, then I think, oh, that must make her feel very concerned for her cat, and then I say the appropriate FE thing. Because my dad's not sick, and
Right.
and I don't know, it's just because
It's not the same.
people aren't the same. Animals get extra special like FI from me or something. I don't know.
Right. You know what I was going to tell you as a thought. Um, I can be wrong for sure because I don't know about this like you. But do you think my FI is that position?
Fourth, yeah,
I'm asking this because I never know what I'm doing, but many people come to me like for advice or maybe, like, I don't know, for motivation or something. The first thing I come is with a resolution of stuff, but I do understand and empathize a lot more when, like you said, it's something that I care about. Like, for example, my animals or sometimes old people because my cat is old. So I care a lot about old people right now because I see my cat in them. I don't know why. And stuff like that. So or for example, when I realized my cat was ill, they told me the first thing I did was come crying to my house and start playing music. I'm always composing music, so that's um, I think that I do a lot to be able to try to see, okay, how am I how am I feeling and how can I can express this, you
okay.
know?
Well, I mean, the thing is, my introverted feeling is seventh slot. And so I don't have a very good understanding of introverted feeling in general, but I will tell you that my introverted sensing is fourth slot, and I don't spend very much time on it, but the time I spend on it is important. So it's very important to me when I'm eating. It's very important to me when I take a bath to just sort of settle in there and go, ah. It's very important to me when I, if I have a typing session, I have to get up at least a half an hour before it, or else I'll be too groggy to start the session. I need half an hour to smoke, drink some coffee, do my SI shit to get ready for things. I don't transition very quickly, right? So introverted sensing is important in my life, but it's also something that's important because I consistently do too little of it. And that's the same thing with you and your introverted feelings. It's important to you, and you're going to remember more of the instances when you're engaged in it because you know you do too little of it. You're too much engaged in your TE most of the time. But I think that's absolutely consistent with fourth slot FI, and it's what's called the seeking slot. So ideally, your significant other would provide you a lot of FI and a lot of FI clarity. So if your significant other were to know very clearly what's important to them, what's precious to them, and what's precious to you two as a couple, then you would have to direct less of your attention to that, and it could give you more of your attention to effectively accomplishing that reality.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, I don't think you're an INTJ. I'm quite confident you're an ENTJ.
Right.
But INTJ is not a bad mistyping. So whoever mistyped you as that didn't do a terrible job.
Well, no, I just did tests, to be honest.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I thought I was an FI because, well, not fourth slot, but third maybe or something, or like Amy said, second. Because I many times do things, so I base my actions many times on what I feel like doing most. For example, sometimes I didn't go to university just because I wanted to sleep more, like that. And I knew I would find a way to not, you know, lose my class, lose my grades or stuff like that. But
Okay.
I wanted to sleep more, so
You
I
just
did
you
it.
just mistook SI for FI, which is another textbook thing to do with your polar.
Okay.
Wanting to sleep more is SI. That's your polar. But because it's your polar in your blind spot, you misidentify it as your feelings.
Oh,
I used to do the opposite until I learned about cognitive
right.
functions. When people would say, "How are you feeling right now?" I'd say, "Kind of tired, I guess." No, I mean emotionally. Oh, hungry?
Okay. I'm getting it now. Yeah, you see, I don't know. Yeah, okay. Wow, that was nice. I
Uh,
mean, who would have said? Oh, well, I didn't know.
yeah, well, cool. I hope you're satisfied with the experience. I'm going to stop recording now.
Okay.
Are you cool if I publish this?
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Amy wants to see it, so
Okay, cool, great. I'll publish it right away.
it's